Wave your paws from side to side. Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT Post-Show Rewind for August the 20th, 2024. I am Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster, here tonight only with Molly Holly, the long-haired chihuahua, Ziggy Stardust, the cat, walking behind me. Going to be running solo tonight, guys, due to some last-minute issues that came up for the other guys. Just me tonight. And we are going to be talking about NXT this evening. A lot to break down. We are just a couple weeks away here from No Mercy taking place. It'll be 1 week from this Sunday. But guys, before we get into tonight's proceedings, I have to give a shout out to our partner on the interwebs, comicbookclick.com. That is comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio for all of your pop culture, comic book, entertainment, professional wrestling needs, everything all in one place. Check it out. Make it your homepage. Check it multiple times a day, just like I do. Not because I'm legally obligated to do so, but because I love to do it. Folks, and while you're there, link on over to our sponsor, NordVPN, where if you sign up for 1 full year of NordVPN, you will get 72% off that first month. 72% off. The savings are absolutely wild. You know, folks, as much as I love talking about astronomical savings, that's not what you're here to listen to tonight. That's not what you're here for. You're here to listen and talk about NXT, and that is what we are going to do. Tonight's main event was a triple threat match featuring Wesley taking on Joe Hendry, taking on Pete Dunne, with the winner moving on to No Mercy to face All Ego Ethan Page for that coveted NXT championship. I think predictably, when it was all said and done, Joe Hendry had his hand raised in victory and will be going on to face Ethan Page a week from Sunday. Now, the victory wasn't all that easy. There were several moments in the match where it was clear that Joe Hendry was about to win the match, only for Ethan Page to pull the referee out or interfere with the referee, even making it to the ring. But try as he might, he was not able to stop Joe Hendry from winning the match. 1 second, a cat is fighting with my headphone cords. Nope. All right. Live radio, folks. But fantastic match overall. Hendry gets the win there in 12 minutes and 21 seconds, which means an NXT title will once again be being defended against a TNA wrestler. And I think there's a reasonable chance that Hendry could get the win here. You know, but we'll see a week from Sunday. You know, if it wasn't enough going on and the excitement of Hendry winning the match tonight, as NXT was going off the air, Wes Lee was jumped by his former teammate, former rascal, former MSK brother, Zachary Wentz. And Wentz just went ballistic on Wes Lee, as he understandably should, you know, paying him back a receipt for what happened recently. And I think it's safe to say that they will be having a match at No Mercy. But that is how NXT went off the air, with those two brawling. Fantastic show overall. But so I will hop around. Yes, Mac, it is in fact a Chase U shirt. Tag team champions, Chase U. But folks, I'm going to hop around here to the start of the show, as is tradition on the DSR Rewinds. NXT came to us live tonight from the Performance Center, as it typically does, but here in about a month, it is going to be on the road. And looking forward to those on the road shows, see what kind of excitement and surprises they have. But we had some quick shots of the women that were slated to be in the Gauntlet Eliminator match tonight. And as Carmen Petrovic was making her way into the building, Izzy Dame attacked her from behind, taking her out and taking her out of the match. Once again, the NXT parking lot proves to be the most dangerous place in professional wrestling. Avoided at all costs. I don't know really at this point what they could do, because it's not even a nighttime or lighting issue, because it was day when they were arriving, when the attack occurred. But, you know, what can you do? I mean, hire more security? You know, HBK's got a lot on his plate, I guess, and this is just low on the old priority list. But, you know, but that's okay. But the show officially opened tonight with Chase U coming out to celebrate their NXT Tag Team Championship win last week, and it was big moment for them. Ridge Holland cutting an impassioned promo, really one of the better promos he's cut down at NXT or overall, honestly. Actually felt, heartfelt and genuine, which is nice to see from Ridge Holland. But they were pretty quickly interrupted by Axiom and Nathan Fraser, as you'd kind of expect them to be. And obviously, Fraser and Axiom were out there and they were looking. They were on the hunt for their rematch for that NXT championship. It's not going to be that easy, though. Apparently, the concept of rematch clauses has more or less vanished from wrestling, or maybe not wrestling in general, but in WWE. And it wasn't going to be that easy for that rematch to happen. Duke Hudson said that if Axiom and Fraser could beat himself and Riley Osborne tonight, then they could have that tag team title opportunity at No Mercy. And that match happened, and it happened immediately then. Oh, sorry, got the wrong graphic there, guys. My bad. So the opening match of Duke and Riley against Axiom and Nathan Fraser went just over 9 minutes, and Fraser and Axiom picked up the victory there and will be receiving that tag team title shot at No Mercy, potentially picking up the titles back, but I don't think it's going to go that way. My question with this match, though, was had Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne won, would they have potentially got the match? I know that wasn't really the stipulation, but it would have been interesting to see them vie and maybe say that they would have been entitled to that match, and just a little infighting with Chase U. A little competition amongst the ranks never hurts anybody. After No Quarter Catch Crew, they'll tell you. It's always good to have a little competition amongst yourselves. But solid opening match. Good work from both teams, and looking forward to the tag title match that will be taking place at No Mercy a week from Sunday. All right, let's see here. Moving on from there, we had Wendy Chu taking on Lola Vice on a one-on-one match. This was set up last week. Fantastic showing from both women here tonight. Wendy Chu ends up getting the win in 8 minutes and 2 seconds. During the course of the match, Kalani Jordan made her way to the ring to give a little receipt to Wendy Chu. She hops in the ring and ends up eating a back fist from Lola Vice. Lola, upset and distraught by doing this, it's left her open for, with that distraction, and Wendy Chu was able to get the win. After the match, Kalani Jordan, and I'm not really sure why she would just willingly do this, Kalani Jordan said that Wendy Chu could have a North American title match at No Mercy, and that she was taking her title back. Apparently, at some point in time, Wendy Chu had stolen the North American Championship and stashed it in her body pillow, which she used to achieve victory tonight. Kalani Jordan snatched the body pillow, laid out Chu, and took her title back. I look forward to the match. I'm not really sure when Wendy Chu stole the North American title and stashed it away. I'm not really sure how she did it, but she did it. And this seems to be the setup and provocation for a match between Kalani Jordan and Wendy Chu. The match will be good, I'm sure. This isn't the most solid premise for a title match that's ever been done on NXT television, but it's not the weakest premise either, I suppose. But hey, that's where we are. Moving on from Chu and Vice, we had a quick interview segment backstage with Wesley and Kelly Kincaid, hyping and plugging the main event that we talked about here at the start of tonight's program. All right. Excuse me. All right. So after that, we had a cool little video package with Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix, where they were just kind of establishing that, JC and Fallon, at the very least, were establishing that, they are wrestling fans. They scratched and clawed. They worked on the indie scene to make their way. Holy shit, CJ! Sorry. I obviously interrupted myself since I will finish this instead.
Stand by. I realized that my headphones are not connected to my computer at the moment. I got overexcited as I was coming online. Oh, I can hear those lo-fi beats, so that means they're on. Hey, all right. How's it going?
CJ, welcome.
Sorry I'm late.
Hey, no worries. Welcome. Everybody, CJ's here. All right.
I have not seen even a single second of the show tonight, but I'll tell you what I've done is I have gone to comicbookclick.com and am pulling up the results, and will be kind of following along as we go.
Right on. Excellent. Well, welcome, CJ. As I always, say, better late than never. I was just talking about the video package that Jasmine Nix, JC Jane, and Fallon Henley where they were discussing and more or less complaining about the fact that other women are given these opportunities just because they're collegiate athletes. They're not wrestlers. They didn't fight on the indie scene. They didn't work their way to NXT. They're just run-of-the-mill athletes. And they took umbrage with that. Now, even though Jasmine Nix falls into that category, she feels that she very quickly learned that she doesn't fit in with those types. And they have officially given that trio a name. The Fatal Influence. The Fatal Influence. The Fatal Influence. Yes.
Well, that certainly is a name.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of rings like Pure Fusion Collective, where it's like we're just stringing words together and seeing what sticks.
These names, it's their not so much the Fatal Influence, but mostly Pure Fusion Collective almost sounds like one of those names that you would have read in like Pro Wrestling Illustrated in the mid-90s of like a Japanese team. And you're like, okay, clearly something was a little bit lost in the translation, but I bet it sounds really badass in Japanese. except this was only ever in English. So.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So they are the the Fatal Influence. God, I'm going to do that a lot.
Well, and that's the thing, like, because it just has that toxic attraction kind of vibe, like, that's how it feels. Like, they're just redoing that, so that's probably going to slip the tongue a couple times.
Yeah, it's right up there with the Adrian. See, I just did it there. Ashante the Adonis. I call him Adrian Adonis almost every time. It's going to happen a lot. It'll take a little bit of adjustment time. But from there, our next match on the card was the women's Gauntlet Eliminator to determine Roxanne Perez's #1 contender at No Mercy. I actually dug the way this was set up. I'm not big on, really like wonky stipulations in these sort of things, tag team turmoil, that sort of schlock. But I actually liked how this worked. It started with Rin Sinclair and Sol Ruca. The way it functioned was after that, every 3 minutes, another woman would enter the ring until everyone was eliminated. So after the start with Rin and Sol, 3 minutes into the match, Adriana Rizzo made her way out, and she was taken out just before the 6-minute mark by Sol Ruca. Shortly thereafter, out came Brinley Reese, which I think she made her way out during a commercial break, if I'm not mistaken on that. After Brinley Reese, out came Kendall Gray, and shortly thereafter, Brinley Reese was eliminated. After Brinley's elimination, the last one made her way out, Jada Parker. Shortly thereafter, Kendall Gray was eliminated. Rin Sinclair was eliminated. It came down to Sol Ruca and Jada Parker. When it was all said and done, Jada Parker picks up the win and moves on to No Mercy to face Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. Match went just about 15 minutes and 40 seconds. I thought this was fantastic. Good lengths for this. Quick pace, good action. I think, there was only a couple women that I thought, people were pushing to the front of their minds to potentially win this. I think those two women were Sol Ruca and Jada Parker. Came down to those two. Jada wins. TJ, what do you think about Jada getting the win here and moving on to face Roxanne at No Mercy?
Well, if it came down to Jada Parker and Sol Ruca, I can't imagine in the moment how I would feel about either woman getting the victory here. Jada Parker has a huge wave of momentum right now. And at the same time, it feels like Sol Ruca is still kind of struggling to find her place in the division. So having something to kind of, even if she doesn't win the title, just sets her up for the opportunity. But this is going to be huge for Jada Parker for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, do you think that there's a chance of Jada picking up the win against Roxanne, or is that title staying with Roxanne until Julia comes to NXT?
I think that and it's hard to tell with that sort of unknown in Julia. Like, are they going to have her be a face or a heel? Like, I know nothing about her because I don't follow Japanese wrestling a whole lot, other than John will fill me in kind of thing. I know he's excited for what she's able to do in NXT, and obviously, yes, push her in the title picture if you think that that's the best place for her. But if it's against Jada Parker, I would hate for her reign to be cut so short. Like, if they're gonna strap the title onto Julia, then it should be against Roxanne, just because the gravitas of having defended against Jordynne Grace, and I guess most recently would be Jada Parker, then that sets Julia up for success right away.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Absolutely, man.
And at that point, Roxanne could take a loss. It's not like she won the title yesterday and has to drop it right away, which is kind of where they'd be going if Jada Parker wins at No Mercy. But that could also be, maybe they don't put the title on Julia. Maybe they just have Jada Parker beat her, or not clean. Doesn't have to be it could set something up for her and someone else. But if they want to put her in a title match with a dusty finish and then have Jada's first major feud after that, then we might get a little good and bad, I guess, from both sides.
Yeah. It's definitely it'll be interesting, regardless of what directions they choose to go with it. But it's never dull for sure. Moving on from there, we had a quick backstage interview segment with Kelly Kincaid and Ethan Page. He only got a couple sentences before Pete Dunne stepped in and interrupted him. And Pete Dunne, basically said when he gets to the match, he's going to make Page tap out at No Mercy. Clearly, Pete Dunne did not get into that match, but saw a little interview segment there. From there, we went on to one of the advertised matches this evening. Hank Walker and Tank Ledger taking on the OC in some tag team action. And Hank and Tank get the win in 4.5 minutes. I was elated. I don't really ever enjoy seeing the Good Brothers at NXT, but hey, I don't mind if they're there to lose to Hank and Tank, because that's great for Hank and Tank. That's a good win for them. It was absolutely an upset and a surprise. I didn't think they were going to win this match. I was hopeful they would, and I was elated that they did. But hey, Hank and Tank picks up a win. CJ, how you feeling about Hank and Tank's victory over the OC tonight?
I couldn't have said it any better myself. Like we've talked at length about how the OC should just go back to SmackDown. So yeah, they're doing the job for Hank and Tank. I gotta give them props for it. Their time in NXT, and I mean, to their credit as well, if we're talking about putting over the younger talent, that is what they have been doing. Like they had I mean, not consistently, because they did beat OTM recently, didn't they?
Yes, yeah, they did.
Gender mixed tag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, the fact that they did the job in 4.5 minutes to Hank and Tank, like, how was the match itself?
The match was good. I enjoyed it. I think Hank and Tank really have something. I think it's, they've got that, just old school, real smash mouth kind of tag team feel, and I really dig it. They looked good here. They had a lot of good offense. It's the OC. Like I said, like it was definitely an upset win. But I'm hoping that this is the start of something for Hank and Tank, starting to put them on a tear. But no, the match itself was solid work from both teams. You know what you're going to get with the Good Brothers, and you got that. But Hank and Tank certainly put some movement into the match for sure.
And I love seeing Hank and Tank doing anything, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But for them to be getting what feel like meaningful wins, even outside the title picture, is great. Love to see it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, like I'm really in, it's just the hopeful, optimistic side of me as a fan here, liking the teams I like. But I am hopeful that this is the start of something for them. I mean, given their hosting of the Great American Bash there for the both weeks of that, got them a lot of screen time. Showed the personality. That's awesome. Personality's over. Get them in the ring. Let them show off what they can do there. Let them build up some victories. Maybe eventually work them towards that tag team championship. After that, quickly backstage, we had Sean Spears walking around talking. He was quickly approached by Enofe and Blade, and they weren't happy with him. They said that he is predatory, and he's preying on people like Brooks Jensen at their weakest moments and taking advantage of them. And he mouthed off about Brindley Reese, and that pissed them off, and then they brawled. So I don't know. Maybe Sean Spears is starting to try to collect him a little stable here. What do you think, CJ?
Well, and he did seem to have some pupils, disciples hinted at, like, in kind of the background for his, like, when he was still wrestling Josh Briggs.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that Brooks Jensen is his disciple, it kind of feels like he's cut everybody else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if he is trying to recruit some more, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so let's see what they do with it. It'd be interesting to see what Blade and Enofe could do with that kind of character, something a little more sinister, a little darker. It'd be interesting to see what they can do, especially after spending so much time with the very bubbly Brindley Reese. But
the win streak they've been on without her.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they've been racking up the wins on Level Up without her at their side. So there's something to be said. So maybe a little influence from Sean Spears could do them a little good as they get this boost. But after that, in the ring, we had the No Quarter Catch crew, minus Tavion Heights, who is still in Japan. But we had the NQCC out there for an in-ring interview segment. This was a lot of fun. Ren Sinclair, I say this almost every week now, but Ren Sinclair has been just a little burst of sunshine into the No Quarter Catch crew, repeatedly interrupting Charlie Dempsey, getting the names of classic wrestlers wrong, saying that she doesn't know who guys like Lou Robinson or Billy Fez are, but if Charles likes them, they must be okay. I really am digging the relationship here. CJ, how are you feeling about Ren Sinclair's inclusion into the No Quarter Catch crew?
Well, yeah, even before tonight, I thought it was a nice little twist on what they were doing, and very much a welcome ray of sunshine against the cloud of gloom that is Charlie Dempsey. And, you know, it's just a nice sort of character building moment right now for the No Quarter Catch crew. And it feels like they wouldn't have taken this route if Drew Gulak was still in the group. So it's good that they're becoming more character instead of just, you know, rigid and we are the best and we'll break you kind of thing.
Right. All we do is train and, like, you know, throw each other into concrete walls. And, you know, this is it's let them all show a different side of themselves. But they weren't out there by themselves for very long. Obafemi interrupts and it makes his way to the ring. And, you know, he took umbrage with Charlie Dempsey saying that the Heritage Cup was the most prestigious title in NXT. And, you know, before Oba and Charlie could exchange too many words, they were also interrupted by the Dunne of NXT, Tony D'Angelo, as he made his way down to the ring and made his intentions very clear that he is gunning for that North American Championship. And he said that his crew would take care of business. A brawl ensues between his guys and the No Quarter Catch crew, and he lays Obafemi out and stands tall over the North American champion tonight. It is official. Tony D will be facing Obafemi at No Mercy 1 week from Sunday for the North American Championship. Looking forward to this match. They've been putting a lot of steam behind the Dunne of NXT. I don't think it's going to beat Obafemi here, but I think it'll be a good match. CJ, how are you feeling about this being Oba's defense at the upcoming PLE?
Well, I think it's a good chance for Tony D'Angelo to, you know, if they do decide that Obafemi is going to drop the title, I wouldn't be disappointed if it was Tony D at No Mercy. But at the same time, they have to have some kind of plan for him. It can't just be, we're going to shake things up. No, they have to either push him to the moon or let him continue his tear with the North American title.
Right. And I think they're going to go with the latter there. I think he's going to keep running with the North American strap for a while longer. Again, I don't really have the foggiest who I would have take that belt off of him, but I don't think it's going to be Tony D. But, you know, it's going to be a good match, and you know, they did a good job of, you know, laying a couple little seeds there for it the last couple weeks with the amount of disrespect between Tony and Oba. But yeah, it'll be a good match, though. It'll be good. But yeah, moving on from there, back in the backstage, Ren Sinclair ran by and dropped the Heritage Cup off, said she was going to get some water, and asked Javon Evans to watch it for her while she was gone. He was approached by Gallus, who, you know, you thought they were going to take it from him. And that wasn't the way that they ended up going with that. They really just more hinted at a future match. Pretty, you know, solid segment here. CJ, what do you think of a potential match between bouncy Javon Evans and anyone from Gallus? Interesting clash of styles there.
Absolutely. You know, the ground and pound sort of kick your teeth in and all the way down kind of style of Gallus. I imagine that Javon Evans is going to be able to pull a win out from under Gallus. Like that sort of level of creativity meshes well in a match with Gallus. But I mean, we'll see if they we'll see what they do with it, and even if they give Javon Evans some backup.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like it is, kind of the poor babyface trope there of, kind of getting yourself into a situation where you by yourself are kind of up against a whole stable of guys. But yeah, definitely looking forward to what they do with that.
But, and because the Heritage Cup was kind of the catalyst of this segment, is the team of Charlie Dempsey and Miles Bourne his backup? Make it a 6-man tag?
I could definitely get behind that. That sounds like a great premise on that. Go with that.
Yeah.
And also, just
we'll see what happens though.
Yeah,
there's lots of possibilities.
It's NXT. It's limitless possibilities. That's what they do at developmentalist possibilities. Put that on the shirt. Oh, but after that we had Ashante, the Adonis. See, I got it right. Taking on Dion Lennox. 1-on-1 short match here. Ashante picks up the win in 3 minutes and 43 seconds. I actually thought this was a really solid match. CJ, you know this. Anyone that watches CJ and Tyler's Level Up Adventure knows this. I'm a Dion Lennox guy. I like Dion Lennox. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's got a great foundation. I think he's got a good look. He's got a good personality. He's good on the mic. He's got solid ring skills. Across the board, fan of his. I was really hoping he was going to get a win here on NXT proper. Wasn't his night, but that's okay. He's just getting started, just getting rolling. But yeah, solid match though. I will say too quick on Dion. My one critique right now is he needs different entrance music, and I know that's something we say about a lot of people. But it's a little too heavy.
Dev Rebel.
Because fuck Def Rebel, yes. But it's just a little heavy. I feel for what is seemingly a more lighthearted babyface character. It's just that's just a matter of opinion. But also, sorry, younger generations, the word Riz is officially dead, as Booker T used it tonight on commentary.
I literally shuddered the second you said Booker T.
But
I don't even shudder at Riz. Like I don't care about fucking New Day slang, but not new,
not like the New Day. Like
it's
modern
New Age slang.
Yeah. Oh damn! But
New Day slang is just big meaty men slapping meat.
Exactly, that's New Day slang. Oh damn! But yeah, solid short match though. Ashante the Adonis using a super kick as his finish, calling it the long kiss goodnight. Oh wow. Yeah, but he picks up the win here, so I'm sure we'll be seeing more of him and hopefully more of Dion on NXT proper as well. Before the main event took place tonight, we had a quick backstage segment that had Lexus King talking to some stagehands, cleaning up his throne. This was a little one of those kind of back and forth, a little slightly all over the place segments, but it got Lexus King on TV. He was chatting up Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. They were interrupted by Ashante. It was very much a Hickenbottom High segment. This was probably our most Hickenbottom High as segment that we had tonight. But it got
so I should go back and rewatch it immediately.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times at least. 3 or 4 times.
I'll be combing WWE's YouTube channel the second we're off the air.
You absolutely should, and that's the way it should be. But they took issue though with Lexus referring to them as the Meta 2, which I feel bad now because we've done that a lot on this show.
And now that I know it's a problem, then I think we should just call them the Metaphor.
Yeah, and they were very quickly rejoined there by Oro Menza, and he was still a little down about his NXT title loss, but hey, they're all together and they're stronger, and they'll be moving forward and looking for those W's.
Okay, so while this comment's on the screen, I absolutely fucking hate his entrance music. I don't know why people love it. I just know that it's hot garbage. And
Booker T likes it.
And his opinion is hot garbage. So
yeah, man. Woo! Almost wound up with seltzer all over the laptop, guys. That wouldn't have
you set me up. I don't know why you decided to take a sip in that moment. That's right. Entirely on you.
It is. I wrongfully chose my sipping moment. Where are you going, Molly?
She also hates Booker T.
That I feel is probably accurate. I can't confirm or deny that. She does sleep through large portions of NXT, but I don't know. I don't know how she feels about Book. But she does like Joe Hendry, and she does believe in Joe Hendry. So there is that.
Does she wave her paws from side to side?
Oh, she does. That's how the show opened tonight, CJ. It was just me and Molly. That was. Go back and watch the open tonight after the show. But yeah, that is more or less how we started tonight. But
that's wonderful.
But yeah, that I think takes us back up to tonight's main event, which I did discuss at the top of the show. They did announce that next week we will have the No Quarter Catch crew taking on the Family, not with Tony. So it's going to be Stax and Luca, but it's going to be a 6-person tag. So that'll be interesting. I'm interested to see that. The Fatal Influence. You want to say it again? The Fatal Influence, minus Jasmine, will be taking on Jakara and Lash, and Izzy Dame will be taking on Carmen Petrovic 1-on-1. So they did announce that taking place. I did discuss the main event at the top of the show, but CJ, I'll get your opinion here on this. Joe Hendry getting the win here, and we'll be moving on to No Mercy to face Ethan Page. How you feeling about TNA superstar Joe Hendry getting that shot at No Mercy?
It is an interesting idea, and I know we've talked about it before, like the possibility of this happening. Like, we knew it had to lead to something big. Mm-hmm. And I genuinely think that this isn't it. I think that they're obviously going to invest heavily in Joe Hendry, mm-hmm. but I think right now Ethan Page can't lose. Like, he's literally had a cup of coffee in NXT, right, and he got the title right away. What is that gonna say about him and his standing in NXT if his title reign is quicker than a hiccup?
Yeah. And I agree with that. They do need to let him run a bit longer, especially given the way he kind of slipped on a banana peel and won the title, to kind of prove his worth and strength as a champion. I agree. He needs to run with it for a bit longer. It's gonna be a good match, though.
Oh, 100%. I think this is gonna be kind of the start of Joe Hendry's actual build to the NXT championship. If they decided that he was going to win at Halloween Havoc, I think that would be more likely.
Right. But hey, it's just interesting times, and the partnership between TNA and NXT just continues to flourish. and is, just paying dividends already. I think it's been a lot of fun. Oh, also too, I mean, at the end of the show, Wentz attacking Wes Lee. So it looks like what we said last week. Yeah, so it looks like they're going to probably have that match at No Mercy.
Most likely.
Look forward to that one as well. I think that's going to be a hell of a grudge.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to it for sure.
Absolutely. But all right, so that is NXT in the proverbial nutshell. I think that can hop us around to tonight's jobbers and megastars of the night. Now, CJ, do you feel you can make an informed decision on a jobber and megastar tonight?
I am going to say probably not for the jobber, but megastar, I do have an opinion.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, then, I will hop headlong into my jobber of the night. And, despite the fact that I felt a purpose was served from them this evening, I went with the OC just because, I don't really get why they're at NXT. Because I know that they put some people over, but, it felt like forever ago they were down there to feud with Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin when they were the NXT Tag Champions. And they very quickly pivoted away and went another direction with that. Breaker went up to the main roster very quickly. And then I just don't really think they knew what exactly to do with the OC after that. And they've just been kind of there walking back and forth, randomly getting pushed into matches. Yeah.
Well, they did have the title match with Axiom and Nathan Fraser, too.
That's true. I just feel like their time in NXT has not served them as well as it could have, or served anyone else as well as it could have.
Do you think it's one of those they're just kind of running their dates in NXT because they're not gonna re-sign?
I didn't even consider that. That's absolutely
I mean,
awesome.
Entirely speculation, but if it turned into, hey, just send us down to NXT, use us however we want, and then, at the end of it, handshake and we're done.
Right. That would make sense, because when they popped in down there, I wasn't thrilled. But I expected something to come of it, or something more than what has come of it for sure. But that would make a lot of sense, man, if they're just kind of riding out their contractual time down there, for sure. But all right, but hey, that's going to take us into tonight's megastars of the night. CJ, I'm going to let you take point on this one, man. You said you had some opinions and ideas and thoughts on tonight's megastars or megastar or megastars. Who you got, man?
Well, I was going to say megastars because I have two. One of them being Jada Parker. The idea that she is getting a title match against Roxanne Perez is her biggest match to date. And even in this picture, you can see the emotion. You know how much this means to her. And the fact that she has only been on NXT proper for maybe a year now. I can't remember no, not even. And she's already been able to accrue this level of support from the fans, especially when she was coming in as a supplement to OTM. They weren't planning on
outshined OTM. Very
yeah. And I think honestly that might be part of why they let Scripps go, because it's just okay, well, we're gonna add her in to help you, and then she outshone him, and then it was okay, well, she's doing it better than you, so bye. And yeah, I think she's just got a huge wave of momentum right now, and if they do her justice at No Mercy, even in a loss, she's gonna come out of this a main event staple.
Yeah, absolutely agreed.
My other megastar is gotta be Joe Hendry. He's on fire right now. Yeah, I ran into this on Raw last night, talking about yeeting. I couldn't yeet because I was holding the microphone, something like that. I can't remember, but I needed both hands, and I can't clap for Joe Hendry, but I would if I could, because I believe in Joe Hendry.
You clapped emotionally. CJ, and that's what really matters. The spiritual clap is the strongest clap of all.
There's a clap in my heart. Oh shit, that's a heart attack.
That's a murmur, man. See a doctor.
But yeah, no, I think they definitely have something with Joe Hendry, and whether in loss or not, Joe Hendry is just riding a huge wave of momentum right now, and he's gonna be okay, win or loss.
Yeah, I agreed. And I was gonna say, I think that he could absolutely suffer the loss here and it not really hurt him or his momentum, because clearly Ethan Page and winning will probably do something a little bit underhanded anyway, so he'll be protected there. And also just how overwhelmingly popular Joe Hendry is right now, the loss won't hurt him for that reason. He's kind of Teflon at this moment. Now, you don't want to take advantage of that too much. You don't want to rack up loss after loss after loss. That would hurt him eventually. But as it stands right now, him losing to Ethan Page, CJ, especially as you said earlier, if that is kind of the catalyst and the true start to his rise to capturing that NXT championship, it'll be brilliant. It'll be a great first piece of that storytelling.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man. So I have to agree with you wholeheartedly. On my notes here, I had both Jada Parker and Joe Hendry on my list. I did have one additional megastar there because I really can't say too much more about Joe or Jada that you hadn't touched on already. Other than they're just both on fire right now. It's nothing but rainbows and upper card for both of them in their future. But I have one more that I want to work in there, and it is the antithesis of the OC tonight, and that is Hank and Hank. And I'm just
they were definitely a consideration in my head too.
Just so happy that they got that win tonight, a featured win over a legacy team. It was awesome, and I'm very happy for them, and I hope that they can capitalize on this and keep that momentum rolling. Like I said earlier, they're just so much fun personality-wise, and they're good in the ring too. So my third and fourth, if you count them as a team unit, megastars of the night. But yeah, solid across the board. CJ, man, before we start getting into the kind of closing shot procedures here tonight, is there anything that you wanted to touch on this evening?
No, I think I'm gonna go back and rewatch NXT. I couldn't join in. I literally came in, I got home and came into my room and literally came online 2 minutes later. It was the first thing I did when I got home, because I'm like, I gotta not let Tyler down. I was like, I almost missed it.
It gets a little dicey alone on here, guys. You wouldn't think it'd be that much, but it's a lot going on at once, and it as folks watching live earlier saw, I did manage to double click on the wrong pictures there a couple times. So these things happen, though, guys. These things happen.
I don't know how you do it on a regular basis, because I'm looking at them right now and they are tiny as hell. I can hardly even tell who's who on anything.
it took me some clicking there. Like I said, I got a couple of mixed up. It's not as difficult when we do level up adventure because I only have like 3 pictures. I'm contending with
that's fair.
on that. But yeah, I did get them a little mixed up here. But I'm very, very glad, CJ, that you were able to hop in because, you know, as much as I like to say that Molly is on these shows, she doesn't talk.
She's more of a hindrance than a help when it comes to commentary.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, I still think you'd choose her over Booker T any day of the week.
And twice on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Which is when the PLEs usually are.
Oh, hey, folks, before we kind of get rolling off the air here, I do want to give a quick shout out to one of our other major sponsors here, and that is Monk.com. Monk.com DSR10, get 10% off of your aromatherapy smokable infusers. Do it, relax, go get yourself a discount, go check it out. Not right this second, but after the show. And speaking of this show, other shows, guys, if you had a good time here tonight, I've got wonderful news for you. We don't just cover NXT. We're covering a lot here. DSR is always on, and there's always wrestling happening. There's always wrestling to be covered, and we are always going to be here covering it. We are here every Monday night for Monday Night Raw. I wasn't here last night, but CJ and Caesar sure were.
And we did our best.
And you guys killed it. It was good times, as always. But yeah, but they're there. They were there last night. I couldn't make it, guys. Sorry, back to school time's a little rough. But we're here Tuesday nights as well for NXT. Obviously, you're watching it right now. You know that we're here. Thursday nights are made for TNA Impact. That's our sibling show over there covering the TNA portion of what we like to call the prohibited portal around here. And Friday nights, of course, SmackDown. And y'all, if you're up very, very late on Wednesday nights, which I am not, I'm not up that late. I gotta be up early in the mornings, guys. Sorry, it's not my fault. But if you're up late and you want to listen live, you can listen to the Dirt Sheet Radio flagship show every Wednesday night, early into the Thursday morning. But if you're like me, just, check it out Thursday morning to catch up on all the haps in the world of professional wrestling. Always a lot of fun to catch up with those guys. And also on Sundays, the 3NT podcast live every single Sunday. I'm going to say it every week. That is such a crisp graphic. It looks good. We waited a long time for that graphic, and it was worth the wait. That's not the only thing that happens on Sunday. CJ, what else happens on Sunday?
I'm pretty sure you're talking about CJ and Tyler's NXT Level Up Adventure. Every Sunday, for the most part, we are sitting down talking about that week's episode of Level Up. And then we deep dive into a NXT related topic of discussion. We've got a hell of a double episode coming up this Sunday. Tyler, why don't you tease us into it?
We again, apologies for no show this past weekend, but as said and promised, we will be catching up with a double episode covering last week's NXT Level Up, this week's NXT Level Up, and all new NXT Deep Dive. And I think CJ and I will be dropping down our predictions and preview for NXT No Mercy, which will be taking place 1 week from this Sunday. So
we did kind of talk a little bit about No Mercy, but I look forward to deep diving into the whole card with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be a lot of fun as always. And hey, CJ, before we get out of here, man, we talked about it just a little bit, but tell all the folks watching at home where they can find you and where they'll see you next.
Well, I try and make it on where I can, but I'm usually here every Monday for Raw, Tuesday for NXT, Friday for SmackDown. And I do have to shout out our folks on the Wednesday AEW Dynamite show, and love to shout those guys out as well.
Did I run past Dynamite when I was doing?
Yeah, you went from NXT right to Thursday.
It's because I know, I get that. It's the connection in my head I now have between NXT and TNA. It's hard not just to say NXT and A every time I do it.
Exactly.
Good gravy. See, and that's why we've got each other on these shows, guys. We pick up the pieces when one of us drops, as I did. But but good times, good times. CJ, it was a good time here tonight. I will see you again on Sunday, and we will be here Sunday, guys. It's gonna be a fun show. If you think we went long a couple weeks ago, just wait.
I imagine we'll be going long again this weekend. And catch me on Friday, hopefully for the SmackDown rewind. We're getting closer to Bash in Berlin. I'm sure Randy Orton is going to be making his another claim on the World Heavyweight title. Roman Reigns and his war with the Bloodline continues. It's damn to be a good time.
Hell yeah. And just for the record, because of the nature of professional wrestling fans on the internet, I do want to state 100% for the record, it was unintentional that I did not put up the Dynamite graphic. It was not on purpose. It was not a slight at AEW. It was not a swing at them, their talent, Tony Khan, none of it. I love wrestling. I love all wrestling. It wasn't on purpose. Not looking to get attacked.
Problem is, you're obviously lying.
I'm clearly being paid by Triple H as I speak.
Yeah, you're the guy that Tony Khan is alleging contract tampering. Triple H is
all
going
me.
through you.
It's 100% me. He's so right. I'm the one that is bringing Ricky Starks to WWE.
Say it ain't so.
It's me. I did it. I facilitated the whole deal. It was a hipster contract from start to finish. Obviously, that's not true. I had nothing to do with any of that. But y'all, I want to thank you again for tuning in live here tonight, as y'all do, almost every night of the week, because we're here every night of the week. So we appreciate that. We don't have a show if you're not watching it. We will be back live tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite. See, I'm talking about it. I appreciate them and love them. But guys, thank you again so much for tuning in live. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Damn right.